In this video, we're gonna be building the world's best youth academy by only scouting from those newly added countries in FC25 with the ultimate goal of winning the Champions League. The name of our team is World Academy, and we'll be starting in EFL League 2. Our current squad is just filled with players that need to be replaced. Our starting budget is only 1 million euros, and all we currently have is a one-star scout. So the first thing we need is money, and the way we're gonna earn it is by transfer listing all of our most valuable players. Now, while those players are being sold, we're gonna spin this wheel, which is gonna decide where we send our scouts to. It's got all the new countries, and the first country is Bhutan. Bhutan is a country in the Himalaya mountains between India and China, so let's look for a mountainous goalkeeper from there. In the meantime, we managed to sell some players, and our budget's now 4.6 million, which means we can now hire a second scout. And it looks like the best available scout is this guy, Andres Lep, 5-star 4-star for 2.8 million, and we need to send him somewhere, and the wheel has given us Honduras. A lot of Central American countries have been added, and Honduras is one of them. And I'm gonna look for an attacking player from there. We've sold one more player, so I'm gonna go ahead and hire one more scout. It'd be nice to have a 5-star, but we don't have the money for that. So we're gonna hire this guy. And the country we're gonna be sending him to is Tonga. Guys, this is one of those islands in the middle of the Pacific, east of Australia. And from Tonga, we're gonna look for defenders. And now we have our first report. It's from Bhutan, but this player has bad potential. Now going over to Honduras, our Estonian scout has found us. Maybe this guy. For a second, Flores looked promising, but his potential is bad. We'll keep scouting these two. And now we have an update from Tonga. And apparently you have to have the last name Lima to become a footballer in Tonga. Now this guy might be decent. He's got pace. I'm gonna sign him up. And I'm also gonna sign Laggy Lima. Hopefully he doesn't lag too bad. They're both rated 56. I'm just going to improve their defending and see where they go. Now, because we've already gotten players from Tonga, I'm going to recall McFadden. This way, we'll be able to scout from more countries. Now, there's a country I wish we could scout from, but we can't because it goes against the concept of this video. But we'll still talk about Scotland for a little bit because I became a lord there. And that's thanks to our sponsor, Highland Titles. Well, I actually didn't become a lord. I just became a lord. And you can also become a lord, lady, or a laird in Scotland if you wish by purchasing a souvenir plot of land from highlandtitles.com. Now, Highland Titles is a family-based business that has been operating since 2006 in this area of Scotland right here. So what they're trying to do there is restoring land that has been ruined by unregulated farming. They also rescue animals, nursing them back to health and then releasing them back to nature. So when you go out to purchase a plot of land, they actually plant a tree for you and they manage that plot in your name. You don't have to do anything else. And you get your novelty title of Lord, Laird, or Lady, just like this one. Plus you also get this map, and they also sent over this cool looking coaster. So guys, go to highlandtitles.com and choose your plot of land. As a subscriber, if you use the code Ghiellini25, you'll get a 25% off your purchase, and all the money you spend goes towards planting trees, saving wildlife, basically supporting their own version of their youth academy. So once McFadden returned, we spun the wheel again and Panama came up, so we asked them to look for wingers. Then we received our final two reports from Bhutan and ended up signing these two Guptas. I mean, this kid's got the mountainous height we were looking for. He's 6'4" or 193 centimeters for the rest of the world. And then there was a potential update for the Limas. I'm just gonna promote all these guys to the senior team. We have to slowly start replacing these players. So Gupta goes in. Also, both Limas are gonna be starting. And I just realized our goalkeeper has one single rating for diving. That surely has to be a bug. Now we need a new assignment for our one-star scout, and he's going to Brunei. Brunei is this tiny country in Southeast Asia. If you didn't know, the world's richest player is from there. So because he's a right winger, we're gonna look for the same position. Then in our final report from Honduras, I realized Vicente Acuna is actually a good player, so I signed him up, and then we said goodbye to everybody else. Acuna happens to be 61 overall, and he's got really good shooting, so I'll train him as a shadow striker. I'm also switching the formation to a 4-2-3-1 wide. We'll switch the cam roll to a shadow striker, and we'll put Acuna in the starting 11. Now Andres Lep is available again, so we spin for a new country. Let me know if you're actually watching from one of these countries, as we get Bahrain here. Just like Brunei, Bahrain's also a tiny country in the Middle East, and I think we need center midfielders or CDMs. Now in the meantime, in Panama, McFadden's all finished, and Julian Velasco is the best player he was able to find. Velasco's a right winger, rated 57 overall. He goes into the starting 11 and becomes our 4th academy player there. So since McFadden's available again, let's spin the wheel to see where he's off to next, and it looks like he's going to Gibraltar. So once again, it's another tiny country at the southern tip of Spain. We still need center backs, we still need strikers, so that's the two positions we're gonna search. Now the mission mission in Brunei is complete. And for a 1-star scout, these are two decent players. Lim is 54 overall, 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves, and Hussein's 47 overall. I'm gonna turn Lim into a left winger, and I think Hussein would benefit from becoming a backup striker. So our starting 11 now has 5 academy players, but we gotta keep scouting. The next country we're going to is Democratic Republic of Congo. After going to so many tiny countries, this one's actually massive, and we're gonna look for a center midfielder or a center back from there. Next, from Bahrain, all of our reports are in, and this has been the best country so far. We've got 2 players valued at 600,000 euros, and we've signed a total of 6 players from there. Ashraf Hawsari kind of looks like a girl. We need center back, so I'm gonna train him as a center back defender. He's only got 6 heading accuracy. What's going on with these youth academy players? So our starting 11 now has 9 academy players. We only need a new striker and a center back. Also, Lep needs a new mission. He was really successful in Bahrain, so next up he's got Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan's located in Western Asia, and I think it's time to look for another goalkeeper. And then in the meantime, we have an update from Gibraltar. We found this striker valued at 375,000, and also this guy who's a center back valued at 240,000. So Heath is 53 overall, and then Taylor's 52 overall. And with the addition of these two guys, our starting 11 is now made up of only academy players. We also need to start scouting somewhere new, and that country is Senegal. I never realized you couldn't scout from Senegal before, so we'll look to find the next Sadio Mane from there. Then in DR Congo, the scouting is complete, and this is the only player that looked decent. Cheku Diallo's rated 53 overall with a maximum potential of 83. Then spinning the wheel again for our 1-star scout had us going to Fiji. Fiji's a little bit closer than Tonga. Let's look for another striker or a center attacking midfielder. We were looking for a goalkeeper from Azerbaijan, and this is the best player we could find. He's rated higher than our current goalkeeper, Gupta. He's got 16 diving. For whatever reason, diving's very low with these youth academy players, so we'll train him as a goalkeeper, and he also moves into the starting 11. This is a new spin for Andre Lep, and he's going to Niger. Niger's up here in Western Africa. We'll look for a center back and a left back. We need better players in those positions. And then over in Senegal, our mission is complete, and we've found 3 decent players. Theun's rated 59 overall, Kane is rated 53 overall, and Boye is rated 55 overall. Theun is a 4 overall upgrade in our starting 11 over Lim. And it's also end of season 1 where we finished at the very bottom of the table, 24th, scored 61 goals, decent amount of goals scored, but 98 conceded. Vicente Acuna was our most productive player, getting 12 goals and 4 assists. Now, before moving on to season 2, we spin the wheel once again, and we get Papua New Guinea, and that's where we're gonna send McFadden. It's this dinosaur-looking island in the Pacific. Center midfielder, CDM, center back. That's what we're gonna look for. Next, it's time for an update from Niger. We found this left back with decent potential, and then Abdel Ali is a left midfielder, also good potential, and he's valued at 600,000 euros. Dumbia's only 48 overall, but he's only 14, and he's got 4 play styles. And then Ali's 59 overall, but he can run. He's got 86 pace. I think we'll train him as a left winger first. Now, comparing these two, they're very similar, so there's going to be competition on the left. Moving on, I'm going to go ahead and recall Lep. And now to see where he's off to, we spin the wheel and had to look this one up, and it's Rwanda. I think most of the countries that have been added are actually in Africa. Again, we'll look for center backs and CDMs. So we have now officially moved on to season 2 with this squad, and our new budget is 5.2 million. Our 1-star scout has completed his mission, and it looks like he hasn't found any good players in Fiji. So because of this, we're gonna release him. Now it's time to hire a new scout for the new season, and we've got a 5-star for 4 million, and he's hired. Let's find out where he's going to first, and it looks like Oman. Oman is southeast of Saudi Arabia. We still need a really good striker, so that's what we're gonna look for. And despite looking for strikers, we ended up finding Yusuf Anwar, who's a center midfielder valued at 1.1 million. He's rated 63 overall, and he can pretty much do everything. It looks like we found the Arab region of Toni Kroos here. So he goes straight into the starting 11 to replace one of the Ahmads. We're now recalling Ekstrom to really instruct him on how to find a striker next time. And to find that striker, he's gonna have to travel to Montenegro. Montenegro's right here in the Balkans. Netherlands. So please, Ekstrom, find us a striker this time. Now, guess what? This guy, Emir Ahmad, he wants to leave the club. Well, let's send him on his merry way then. Same thing goes for Al Amri. He also wanted to leave. So there they go. We don't want any players on our team that don't want to be here. Now, Jamie McFadden's all done in Papua New Guinea, and he's actually found as a player valued over 1.2 million. The only thing, he doesn't have the highest potential, but we'll still take him. There's also Temo Ali, who's really strong. I'm also going to sign him. So Singh is actually 64 overall. He's also a center midfielder. And then this is what Temo Ali looks like, 56 overall. So into our lineup goes Ali. I'm also going to switch up this tactic because it's got 2 CDM roles, and all the good midfielders we keep finding are CMs. So we'll switch to a 4-3-3 attack, and also in goes Singh. And now with this formation, we're looking a lot better. We're still in need of a solid goalkeeper, so this is what that spins for. And it looks like we've got Liberia. Liberia's right here in Western Africa, and Jamie McFadden's gonna look for a goalkeeper. Now moving back to Central Africa, in Rwanda we're all finished, and unfortunately in the land of Diengs and Owusus we haven't found a single good player, Bryce Owusu included. So the next stop for Andres Lep was Thailand, and we sent him there to look for fullbacks. We have our final report from Montenegro, and we find our first player valued over 2 million, Jovan Knežević. We were looking for a striker, but he's a 66 rated center attacking midfielder. It takes way too long to switch his role, but we'll still train him as a poacher. We've so far been struggling in season 2 as well. We're in 21st place. Despite Knežević's arrival, we kept losing most of our matches and now sat at the very bottom of the table. So our scouts still had their work cut out for them, with Ekstrom going off to Benin in Western Africa to look for wingers. Meanwhile, in nearby Liberia, McFadden was all finished in his goalkeeper search, so yet another Ali we add to our squad. Not a massive improvement, but he's 1 overall higher than Abdullayev. Then the next location we had to scout from was Iran, and we asked McFadden to find us the next Ali Dai, making sure the kid he found also had such a glorious stash. While McFadden was setting up shop in the Middle East, Andres Lep was ready to report from Thailand, and his best find was this left back named Klahan Laharnsai. He's got 59 overall, and he becomes a nice addition to our bench. The next location for our scouting department was Mongolia, so off went Lep to look for center backs. Now looking back at our starting 11, our Panamanian right winger Velasco is failing to improve himself, so we're desperate for an alternative there. And we get some good news from Benin, because Alexander Ekstrom managed to find this beast of a kid named Dudu Wade. With an incredible potential and a 63 overall rating, he goes straight to our starting 11, replacing Velasco. Meanwhile, our scouting efforts in Mongolia failed to land a single good player, so then next we sent scouts to Zambia, Cyprus, and El Salvador. Zambia and El Salvador ended up being failures with 0 players added to our squad. However, we struck gold in Cyprus, finding a new goalkeeper named Harris, who's 60 overall, so he provides a +3 overall upgrade to our starting 11. And despite finishing the season in dead last once again, at least we managed to grab our first ever Manager of the Month title in May. Finally, something positive happening in this video. Oh, and also something else that was positive was finding this kid in Iran. He's missing the mustache, but he seems pretty good. And despite being a right winger, I'm making him our striker. Now, we're at the beginning of season 3, and this is what our team looks like at this point. Knežević has taken over as the starting cam. Al Said's on his way to becoming a striker soon. And as for the center backs, we've got a new player from Libya, and he's slightly better than Taylor. And then while I was going through our squad list and renewing contracts, I realized our goalkeeper grew by 1.5 feet to become the tallest goalkeeper in the world. I have no idea what he's been fed over the summer, but we now have a 7'7" goalkeeper. Over the course of the season, we sent out scouts to Libya, Suriname, Bangladesh, Trinidad, Sri Lanka, Lebanon, Nepal, Haiti, Tunisia, Mozambique, Iraq, and Bosnia. And even though we only managed to find a total of 5 decent players, our team just kept winning and winning. With having guaranteed promotion, winning our final game of the season would give us the trophy as the icing on the cake. And that's exactly what we got against Port Vale, and finally ended up lifting our first trophy. Talal Al Said had 22 goals, nearly winning the Golden Boot, but when it came to assists, we topped that list with Jovan Knežević, and these were our most productive players over the course of the season. It feels so good to finally win a trophy with this team. It's taken a lot of time and effort to get to this point, so if you guys are still watching and enjoying the video, don't forget to hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now, with the squad looking like this at the beginning of season 4, our main goal was to find another solid striker. So we sent out scouts to Singapore, Solomon Islands, and Gabon to search for one, but all 3 scouts returned without finding a solid player. So next we went to San Marino, Laos, and Lesotho, but we also struck out in these 3 countries. And after that, it was time to go to Uzbekistan, Cambodia, and Malaysia, but those missions were also yet another failure. Syria, Somalia, and Ethiopia were up next, and you've guessed it, we found 0 players once again. So just like our struggles with scouting, our position in the standings at the end of the season was terrible, finishing 20th, just barely clinging on to our place in EFL League 1. Is it just me, or does this challenge seem really tough? Well, I knew going into this it wasn't gonna be easy, so we have to keep putting in the work. This is what our squad looks like at the beginning of season 5. Now, when it comes to these wingers, when you used to train them as the opposite wing, for example, Duduwade is a right winger, and if we train him as a left winger, his overall should skyrocket. So I'm gonna do this for all of our wingers, and we're kind of lacking in depth in the center back department. So this season we'll start by sending scouts to Kenya, Nicaragua, and Georgia to look for center backs, and we ended up finding Samuel Hassan from Kenya. He looks really good, but he's a CDM, and for some reason we can't convert him into a center back, so we'll try right back first. And we also found Oscar Prieto from Nicaragua. He's only rated 54, but he's got good potential. Now our next 3 scouting locations are Zimbabwe, Togo, and the Maldives. Now pausing for a moment here to check up on our wingers, and these seem to be developing like nuts, so this strategy still seems to be working. I did the same thing for the right backs and the left backs. I just wish Al Said and Harris would grow faster though. Overall though, we seem to be doing a lot better so far. Now going back to our scouting, we found Mbaya Ali from Togo and Ahusan Ibrahim from the Maldives, but neither of them look good enough to go into the main squad. So we continued by scouting from Kyrgyzstan, Timor-Leste, and Romania. Hey, wait a second, that's Chad. Well, from those 3 countries, we ended up finding Vitor Castro, who's a left back center back. He's got amazing potential as well as 7 play styles. Too bad he's only 55 overall. And the other player we found was Sultan Tenestanov from Kyrgyzstan, rated 55 overall, and he's a center back. And now at the end of the season, we finished in 17th place, and I feel like there's something fishy about the FC25 simulation. I mean, look at our squad. We've got players rated 76, 77. Our goalkeeper's now 69 overall, and this is EFL League 1. It shouldn't be this hard. We should be able to gain promotion to the championship, no problem. All right, we're officially in season 6, and I know it may not seem like it, but this video's taking me days to film. So what I'm gonna try doing this season is quick simming every match manually, and here we start with a win. Then for the rest of the season, the wins just kept on coming as the results seemed a lot more realistic for a squad of this quality. And at the end, we finally topped the EFL League 1 table with 96 points to earn promotion to the championship. And now in season 7, for the championship, this is what our starting 11 looks like. I know it's a little bit unrealistic to have an 84 rated right winger, but these kids, especially Duduwade, have incredible loyalty to World Academy, so they're not going anywhere. So with that, at the end of our first season in the championship, we finished in 9th place. I would say this is really good for our first season here. We had Talal Al Said getting 22 goals and Duduwade scoring 21. Jovan Knežević had a decent amount of assists, and this is how the total stats looked for our most productive players. Now this is how we're gonna kick things off in season 8. Wade's an 89. He wants to be in the Premier League. So our goal this year is to secure direct promotion by finishing in the top 2. But at the end of the season, we came up just short, finishing 3rd. However, in the playoffs, we took out Norwich and then beat Sunderland to gain promotion to the Premier League. We finally made it to the big leagues. And I thought I noticed the cup final as it was simulating. Too bad we didn't win it. I think if we had won this cup, we would have gone directly into the Europa League next season. But we still might, because Manchester City's probably going to the Champions League, so we'll probably be in the Europa League. So in season 9, we're starting our Premier League experience with this starting 11. I wish our subs were a little bit better. We've kind of struggled with coach management. We've only been able to hire 6 coaches since EFL League 1. This was the case even though we were completing objectives. Well, apparently we weren't in the Europa League. We weren't even in the Conference League. Lazio won that. Roma won the Europa League, and PSG won the Champions League. Now, as for the Premier League, in our first season, we finished in the top 8. Chelsea won the title, going undefeated with 19 draws. 19 wins and 19 draws. What? And the Premier League Golden Boot winner was Kylian Mbappe, playing for Brighton. And then our players weren't that productive, but man, our front 3 looks amazing. I don't know why the center backs are taking forever, but right now we're just gonna sim to the end of season 10. And at the end of season 10, World Academy are your Premier League champions. And now there's only one thing left to do, and that's to win the Champions League. Now going into our first Champions League campaign in season 11, we might possibly have a Ballon d'Or winner, and I think Wade probably has the highest chance. And there it is, Dudu Wade is the 2034 Ballon d'Or winner. This humble kid from a poor village in Benin is now the world's biggest superstar. So along with Wade, Al Said and Abdel Ali have been firing on all cylinders so far into the season, and their great performances led to a 6th place finish in the league phase of the Champions League. Then in the round of 16, we were matched up against Monaco and we took them out 3-2 on aggregate. Next came Frankfurt in the quarterfinals, where the first match ended up in a 1-1 draw. Then we won the return leg 2-0 in Germany to advance into the semi-finals. In the semi-finals, we managed to match up against the toughest side, Real Madrid, and looking at their squad, we knew it wasn't gonna be easy. This is gonna be tough to sim. Let's do it. At home, we lose 3-2. And now to see if we make it into the final, this is the return leg at the Bernabeu. And we win it 3-1. We took an early lead with Wade scoring in the first minute. Wade got another goal in the 50th. Al Said missed a penalty. They tied it up, and then Ali won it in the 85th to set up this final against Napoli. We've put together this unlikely group of players from all over the world, and they're only 90 minutes away from becoming Champions League winners. The ref blows his whistle, and this match is underway. Napoli won this free kick, and Jude Bellingham really attempted to score from that distance. Bro thinks he's the main character. And on the counter-attack, Al Said headed the ball down beautifully to Knežević, who played the Iranian striker on goal. Al Said made no mistake to put us ahead by 1. Then this is how he celebrated. Throws shade at Bellingham. Shortly after, though, our center back Ali showed his lack of experience and defended very poorly, which led to this goal from Napoli as they made it 1-1. And that's how the first half ended. Then right at the start of the second half, Openda was shown a second yellow for this hard tackle. Napoli are now down to 10 men. Not too long after, Romero brought down Al Said as he was about to be in on goal and was shown a straight red. This was great news for us as Al Said lined up to take the free kick. Let's go, Al Said, though. Ooh, came off the post. Then in the dying seconds, when we should have won it then and there, this happened. Said, the goalkeeper saves it. And what a miss! This meant the game was going into extra time. With a ton of open space in the Napoli defense, we were finally able to execute and get the goal with Ali. With Napoli desperately trying to find an equalizer, we struck once more with Al Said to seal our victory. And there goes the final whistle. World Academy are your Champions League champions. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't know if you've noticed the stains on my hoodie. These are from my son's yogurt drink. I've been wearing this hoodie for, I don't know, 5 or 6 days while I filmed this video. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd watch this video as well, I would really appreciate it.